Okay, so in this video, I'm going to share something with you that every single runner tends to do to prolong their injuries. Hi everyone, Steve Gonzer, physical therapist with Run Smart Online. Going through today's Tuesday, depending on when you watch this, it's Tuesday for me. And I had a patient yesterday that made the critical mistake that you all make when you're trying to get over injury. So I figured I'd cover it here today for you and talk about it. So a little backstory. This runner who saw me yesterday injured themselves back in July. And in July, they went through this little piece where their foot started getting sore. And actually, no, this is a different one. This was in September. So in early September, she hurt her foot and she also strained her calf a little bit. So we're going through the history and we're talking about, okay, well, what have you been doing? And one of the questions I always ask somebody is, well, what have you done since this injury came on? And she came and pretty much said what everyone says when they get hurt is, well, I've been foam rolling it and I've been stretching it since it happened and it's just not getting better. And that's something I hear quite often. I'm going to share with you why you might not want to stretch your injuries and you might not want to take a foam roller, lacrosse ball, or whatever spiked gadget you have and start jamming it into the injury. Because believe it or not, once something breaks down and becomes injured, it does need some time to catch back up to speed. So let's jump to the whiteboard quick. And I'm going to show you exactly why you should not be stretching and foam rolling, just hoping that things just go away on their own. So let me turn this camera around a little bit and let's talk about this. Okay, so whenever you, let's just take a muscle strain. It could be a plantar fasciitis, it could be tendonitis, it could be a calf strain, quad strain, glute strain, whatever it might be. Whenever you have a muscle, and you might not realize this, so I'll just kind of go from a high level, you have your tendons on the end, and you have your muscle in the middle. So the tendons, muscle, tendon. The tendons just attach your muscle to the bone so it can pull on it and make sure that you can move and do what you need to do. But here's the thing, is when, straighten this out a little bit, let's just take, for example, let's say you strain your muscle. And a strain is a nice way of saying tear so that you runners don't freak out. But when you strain a muscle, you tear it. So let's just put a small tear in there. And you're going to see, like, the muscle's not going to tear off the bone. You can have a different degrees of strain, but we put a small tear in it, and this is what starts the healing process of anything. What most people don't realize is, like, when the instant you hurt yourself, your body is the most jazzed up to try to heal you. Unfortunately, most runners do things to prevent it from actually healing. So you're running along, just like this runner was, you feel a tweak in your foot, your calf, your Achilles, wherever it might be. Let's just say you tore it a little bit. The whole job of the body is to come in and heal this tear. So imagine for a second that if you cut your knuckle and it's like, oh wow, that almost is healed, and you do this, and what's going to happen? You're going to bust that healing open, you're going to spread it open, it's going to take longer to heal. What happens with most runners is they say, oh, I have this tear in here, I'm going to keep stretching it. I'm going to stretch the hell out of it. I'm going to stretch it morning, noon, and night. I'm going to position myself in funny ways and do all these crazy things to try to heal it. But imagine for a second if this tear is trying to do what the body wants it to do and pull together and start the healing process where it'll actually start to scab over. But you come in and say, oh, that feels a little better. I think I should stretch it. What's going to happen is you're just going to take these two bones away from each other and you're just going to go ahead and blow this back open. A common mistake runners do, especially early on in their cycle when they start to get hurt, is they overstretch. A lot of times what they need to do is, like, you're not going to want to do this, but you need to just shut it down and not use that area because it wants to come in and it needs to stitch over. Once that initial healing happens, that's when you can initiate the stretching. That's when you can start to reload the tissue, because once this scabs over and heals, you have to start pulling on it to toughen this up and get the scar tissue to heal. Now that's the first thing runners do all the time, which is start stretching way too early in the cycle, and it prevents things from healing. The other thing they like to do is they have this nice, new, or fresh injury, and what do? They take this big old lacrosse ball and they dig it 6 inches into the muscle. And they're like, oh, that's so sore. That feels so good. It's like that good kind of sore. I'm like, this thing's trying to heal. The last thing it needs from you is whatever gadget you found on Amazon and you're jamming it 6 inches into it. It's trying to heal. Will you just leave it alone? Like, so many runners are like, well, if I dig right here with my thumbs, I can really make it hurt. I'm like, congrats. Stop doing that. It's trying to heal. too often we're just trying to grasp at straws and get things, especially early on, to heal. And when they don't work, we wonder why. So stretching too early and lacrosse ball, foam rollers too early are all problematic. You have to get through that initial healing stage, which can be a varied amount of times depending on how long you've been in denial for that you've actually been hurt. One of the analogies I like to use in this is like imagine I came in and I told the runner this yesterday, hopefully she wasn't offended, and I just kicked you in the shin. I walked up and booted you in the shin. The next day you're going to be pretty sore. And every single day after that, I come in and I just keep kicking you in the shin one day after the next. And in between kicks, you're icing it, you're stretching, you're doing all these things to it. But every day I just come and boot you back in the shin. You're always going to be sore. And that to me is the foam roller for a lot of people. The body's trying to heal it, and you just roll that lacrosse ball or that foam roller right into the injury, and it can't heal because you're over aggressive on your timeline. So be careful early on. If you need a little bit, usually a couple days. Like I'm telling you guys, 2 weeks, most injuries can turn around in 2 weeks if you stop making a lot of the mistakes I'm covering. This being one of them. This is what I had to stop the runner from doing and giving her some other activities to do. But if you're interested in learning more on how to handle these things, if you want some strength workouts to help improve your balance and your strength, and maybe even just some training plans to get you through these next couple months, check out the link in this post. The RunSmart app is live. You can log into that and get access to my training blueprints, my training plans, strength workouts, whatever that could help you. But in the end, stop doing this and you won't have to see me in the clinic while I have to tell you I'm going to boot you in the shin. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.